I used to have the cups, and then my dog ate them. So I made a shirt. 74 to 72. It's a great week to hate on LSU. It's a great week to hate on Texas. It's a great week to root for Vandy, but it's a damn good week to be a fighting Texas Aggie. Everything is alive. Everything to play for. And my goodness, did anybody have this on their bingo card? That this game versus LSU would mean this damn much in the landscape of college football? I mean, we're going to start with some LSU talk. I want to kind of reflect a little bit on Mississippi State today. We're kind of in the Monday transition phase of the week. But if I was projecting the year at this point right now, I would have thought LSU and A&M would probably both have about 2 losses. Just for the natural arc of a program. For LSU, they're coming off of a historic offensive year. They're coming off of a pretty bad defensive year. Atrocious, some might say. Defensive overhaul, all new coaching staff, lose your quarterback, lose your top 2 receiver duo, both to the NFL, top 2 rounders, and they're left with a reset. But surprisingly, they have done enough to stay alive. Honestly, I'm grateful for it. I mean, we don't get too many beautiful, perfect evenings like this in Kyle Field, where both teams deep into a season have so much riding on it. I don't have to tell you about the Aggies. I mean, maybe some of us had us in this position going into the year, but I don't know how confident you would have felt about that. I don't know if you would have bet on this game being a top 15 matchup that could define the SEC race. I mean, we both know these two teams sit atop the standings right now. And this is a game, I don't know if you want to call it a crossroads. I don't know what you want to call it. But we know how important it is. I think the best thing about this game, if you're just talking matchup for matchup, LSU's NFL-riddled offensive line versus Texas A&M's NFL-riddled defensive line. Nick Scorton, Will Campbell, all the characters. It's going to be an absolute movie. But if you haven't heard about LSU, what's making them really special or having them like overachieve on the year so far, it's the offense took a step back. The defense has taken a step forward. And in my off-season, predictions and analysis or whatever, I didn't have it on my bingo card. So credit to them. I mean, I don't think it's a perfect defense. I think they can be had in the secondary. I think there are a couple holes. They're not the best run stop. But they have a pass rush that's really just keeping their defense in games. And that's without Harold Perkins. So it's a really, really interesting team. It's a really, really interesting matchup. We're going to dive much further into that over the course of the week. I have a LSU preview video that I'm getting ready to drop probably tomorrow. And then Thursday, we'll obviously get more into the LSU talk. We'll give the final say on Thursday night. But tonight, I kind of wanted to reflect on the Mississippi State game. I dropped a video this morning. I'm sure you got my overall thoughts. But as I've sat on the game, I think it's just confirmed that A&M's a work in progress. I mean, I've said that several times now, and I don't think that should be a surprise to anybody. But your work level is up here to where you're still able to win games. I mean, do we really feel like every A&M team we've seen over the last few years would have won that game in Starkville? A place that's already hard to win in as is with the freaking cowbells and all that. All this, yeah. Got it done. Got it done. And there were times in the game where you could have folded. I didn't like the drive that you gave up before the half. I felt like they had a lot going on the ground and early in that drive. I feel like you got a little conservative. I feel like you were a little bit undisciplined on blitzes on that drive. I didn't like how that drive went. I didn't like the critical Connor Wigman interception late in the game where you felt like you could take control of the thing up 2 scores. But can you clean that up? What's your anxiety level going into this next game? That's the question I have to you guys. I present to you guys. How likely is A&M able to play clean enough football against a pretty opportunistic defense and a solid offense? And offensively, they're not doing it with the explosive play. They're controlling games. They're going on long, sustained drives. I think their longest play, their biggest gain of the big win at Arkansas was a 29-yard pass. They're just controlling games, chipping away, converting on third down. A lot like how A&M won their game versus Mississippi State when they were at their best. Just long 80-yard drive, 60-yard drive, 6-minute drive, 5-minute drive, 7-minute drive. That's how they're doing it. Can the A&M pass rush get home against that offensive line? Can you make a somewhat mobile but not super fast quarterback in Garrett Nussmeier uncomfortable in the game? He's only been sacked twice on the year. is what you got versus Mississippi State enough? You had 13 pressures, 3 sacks on the game, but it felt like that pocket was collapsing, and we saw really good quarterbacking by Michael Van Buren. Different angles, quick release, poised under pressure, really good performance. And I found this out about Michael Van Buren. The guy's 20, and he's a true freshman. Makes a lot more sense when you're reflecting on the game to know that he's actually an older dude. How does he look like that? I mean, he looks like a more mature college athlete. He plays like a more mature college athlete. He's 20 years old. Makes a lot of sense. But got to do it against Garrett Nussmeier now. Are we chalking some of that slow defensive start stuff up to be coming off of a bye week? And I think many people have acknowledged that, including Elko, that that's a likely outcome coming out of a bye week. You kind of wish you would have just played right after that Missouri game and just carried that right over. But you had a bye week. You're able to get healthy. Unfortunately, we got some players, banged up in the game versus Mississippi State. I'll give you a quick update on those names. Per Elko today, Basantis, they're not ready to give an update on it. He was very brief with the answer. I fear that he might miss a game, but we'll have to wait for Wednesday, I guess, to see that. I'm sure we'll have to wait till right before the game to see that. They'll probably play it close to the vest. Scooby Williams, take this for what you will. He had a presser today. Are they going to put a player that's out on a Monday presser? I don't think so. He left the game very, very late. Last 4 plays of the game, he left the game due to a calf injury. Nick Scorton, he's good to go. Sounds like he was battling illness last week, was dehydrated in the game, and was continuously cramping, according to Elko. So Scorton should be good to go. Shamar Stewart is a guy that we've gotten no updates on. He left the game maybe second to last drive, never came back. Calf injury. You guys have heard me talk about him. I'm not a big fan of calf injuries. High variance type of injury. If it's a bad strain, it can keep him out a few games. We'll see. Hoping for the best, expecting the worst. That's how it goes. Terry Bussey will be back according to Elko. But let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. I want to say hi to you guys. I'm going to lean on you guys in the show tonight. I've spoken a lot, including a 7-hour watch party on Saturday, including a post-game reaction video, including my deeper breakdown this morning. I want to give you guys the floor, so make sure you guys click that call-in link. I already see Lash and Play to Win in the waiting room. I'll take a few more calls than that. Anybody wants to get in there now. We're going to do the calls pretty soon. We're going to go through the chat. We're going to go through a couple of my favorite plays and key plays and a couple of those weird referee calls in the game with you guys. Then we'll get right into the calls. I see Troy Ellison, black uniforms confirmed. They're all but confirmed, man. We got players telling the 12th man to show up wearing black. So if you're going to the game, wear black. It's that easy. If you bought the 12th man black jersey, blackout jersey, wear that. If you have black Aggie gear, wear that. If you have a black t-shirt, wear that with an Aggie ball cap. Wear black. Let's get the full effect. Yes, Jeb, you're going to the game, right? Wear all black. Yes, sir. David Franz, John Peroni, good to see you. I believe we've already had a flag thrown for our O-line for holding. Well, you got to do this. If you get a call for holding, you throw the can. You throw the bottle. You throw the White Claw over here. You throw that. You throw that. What else do I have? I think I have a few more beer cans laying around that we can throw. Oh, here's another beer can. You throw this one right here. You throw it onto the field. You get a $250,000 fine. And that is the going rate to get a play call reversed, if you didn't know. That's how it works. I don't make the rules. But just throw your cans on the field if you get a holding call. That's all you got to do. Play to win. I see you, man. I see you in the waiting room. We'll get to you in just a minute. Randy Trujillo, good to see you. Ben Capatillo, Lash. Who else saw the disgusting display put on by TU fans after the blown call during the third quarter of yesterday's? That was very specific. Yes, it was bad. I was just getting at that. But yeah. I mean, it was a bad call, but apparently if you throw enough and you get a big enough fine, you'll get that thing written off. Dead Messenger, good to see you. Noah 2 Wavy, always good to see you, my friend. Alex Flo, beat the hell out of LSU indeed. Yes, we got some rush going before the game. Good stuff. Kai, good to see you, man. I've never wanted Vandy to win as much as I do right now. Look, I have a feeling, just to put it out there, you're going to see an inspired Texas team this week versus Vandy on the road. Look, Vandy's really good. They're not in a place where they should consistently contend with the top dogs. I'm not getting my hopes up. And unfortunately, we play in the evening, so we have to wait to get our work done, so we can't really point and laugh until our game's done. So I'm not there. I mean, we're going to go for them, but you know what I mean. Who else is in here? I see a lot of familiar faces. Annabelle Collins beat the hell out of LSU indeed. Hoping we see Basantis. We shall see, man. Here's the thing with the O-line. The good thing about the O-line is it seems like whoever you throw in the interior gets the job done. A testament to Adam Cushing, a testament to Tommy Moffitt, keeping people ready, keeping people multi-positionally ready. That's really cool. But we all know that Basantis has the upside. He's a dog. He's a beast. Going to miss him if he doesn't play. But I have at least some level of faith that whoever steps in for him can perform. But we'll see. He's a penalty machine, but, a lot of reps, you're going to rack up the penalties, and you want to see him work through that stuff. But you're right, but you still take that with the play, I think. I think your guys take this one, says Barnes. I don't know, man. I'm getting ready to make this video. Probably after I get off tonight, I'm going to make the preview video. I have my notes done already for it. And to this moment right now, the LSU game, to me, it feels like a coin flip. It really does. I think both teams are in such similar places where they're progressing, kind of working up from a certain scenario I described there, as we know ours with the new coaching staff and all the transfer portal players. Both teams improving, but this game really gives either team the opportunity to stamp in what has been a strong start to the year. I mean, obviously, they start with similar journeys. They lose a marquee week 1 game, win 5 games in a row, 6 games in a row now. We're bowl eligible, man. We're 6-1. Who would have thought? T-Dub, we've got to win this game. I can't listen to all the guys at work talk about how LSU beat A&M. Oh, my goodness. I know, man. Bragging rights, all the shit talk. And so much riding on the game. I mean, you win this game. You have at South Carolina, which, by the way, announced a night game kickoff, either 6:30, 6:45 Central Time, or 7:30, 7:45 South Carolina time. So a true night game in South Carolina. Tough atmosphere, tough game. You still have at Auburn. You still have the Texas game. So you get through this one, and you have one mulligan through those 3, you're feeling really, really good. You're going to keep stamping in. You need progression and improvement and continuity and just steady play. But you do this one, it's such a big win in so many ways. It's such a monumental game. It's incredible that we have this opportunity right now. Good job, Coach Elko. Bruce Snover, yes, sir. Tom Sawyer to start the show. One of 2 Rush songs that we sometimes play. I'll keep you waiting on the other one. Some of you have heard it before. Oh, who else is in here? Sawyer, I genuinely can't wait for Saturday, man. It's going to be a movie. It's going to be epic, man. We're going to get the good camera angles this week. We got the bad crew last week. I mean, I know the commentators had some sarcasm towards us, whatever, but I'm talking about the camera crew. I hated the angles in the Mississippi State game. I like getting good replay angles. We're going to get the Sky camera view. We're going to do our rewatch with the Sky camera view if you have ESPN Plus. Epic. Great stuff. Great production value. It's going to be such a college football atmosphere, man, in one of the best places it can happen at Kyle Field. We know. The only way we see a 74-72 game is if it's 56-56 at the end of regulation. Yeah, that's because they changed the overtime rules thanks to the game. And quite honestly, it was magical. And the memories and the bragging rights we got from that 7 overtime game will last a lifetime and are awesome. But I vividly remember being so distraught during that game. Like, please, just let this game end. End it. Being on pins and needles for a 4th quarter and 7 straight overtimes was not good for my cardiovascular health. But I loved it. But yeah, they changed the rules, so it won't be like that. Alex Flo still has a cup. I had 2. They used to be in the backdrop of my show, but my dog got a hold of them. They're gone. The 5-hour game. Was it only 5 hours? It felt like 10 hours. This game's going to be such a good one, plus black uniforms debut. Are we installing baseball netting for the TU side? We might need to. Or just have Sark there standing like this the whole game. If Sark just stands like this the whole game, we'll be good. That's all we need. I just wish the weather would be cooler this weekend. Is it not that cool? It's been pretty nice this week. LSU's getting better, but you guys take it. That's a Bama fan saying it. Barnes has been high on us this year. He's told me several times he doesn't want to play us, and that might have to do with Bama kind of having, going down a spiral right now. But, yeah, it means a lot coming from you, Barnes. Appreciate that. We'll see. My sister is an LSU fan, so this game is always fun. That makes it very, very interesting. Your sister. Oh, who else? I think the winner might get you a ticket to Atlanta. Same with Bama game last year. Yeah, man. But you still have, 2 tough road trap type of games to get through after this one and the Texas game. So a lot of work to do, but this puts you in great position, amazing position, sole possession with a tiebreaker of first place. And then, Tennessee had a big win this last week. They're looking, maybe they can rebound and get back into position. So we'll see what happens. But this one means so much, man. Hope we get healthy and everyone gets locked in to play hard every single down. I know. Who wins that matchup, man? It's incredible. Their O-line versus our D-line. I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am to watch it. The Georgia-Texas game was a similar style matchup, and Georgia out-schemed the Texas O-line and made the O-line look weak. Maybe we can get something going like that. We'll have to see. Nuss has only been sacked twice. It's going to be a challenge for sure. It's incredible. Sacked twice. He's not the fastest quarterback, but he's kind of a quick trigger on his evasiveness. He's really good at escaping pressure in the pocket. Has only ran for like 15 yards, and you add the fact he's only been sacked twice. Not a runner, but a play extender. We got to block Ted Cruz from coming to Kyle Field. Please keep him away. He's the curse for Texas programs. We have to continue to bring the heat against Nuss. Yeah, I know, man. You got to find a way. You got to find a way. Also, Torrin York the past 2 games has finally been playing like Torrin York. 2 sacks on the season. He's really good in the run. Yeah, man, he's on time. And with Torrin York, his best attribute is his brain. He's a very smart, savvy ball player, and you see him consistently getting guys into position just like we know. And now that we're looking for that, you can really see it, especially now that he's a green dot with the comms in his earpiece or comms in his helmet. And he has to be on time because obviously he's not the biggest, fastest player, but he has been, especially this last game. Moss will be the X factor. I hope so, man. He's a game changer, man. It sucks that his 2 best runs got taken down with ticky-tack penalties. We'll show you those penalties in a second. I'm going to go through some of those plays. Let's quickly go through the rest of the chat. I'm going to get into a couple plays, and we'll get right into the calls. Got to worry about the Jordan Hare voodoo, but not yet. Not yet. We're not there yet. We've been blessed with good luck in Jordan Hare, but I know that voodoo's always waiting for you. My anxiety is high. Mine is too. So is Alex Flo's. Auburn has almost quit on freeze. I'm not there yet. We're not there yet. We can't look at that yet. Wish Moose played a little bit more. Highlight catch waiting to happen. This could be the game. You never know. He has to put that good week together Monday to Friday. Auburn has a decent defense, just no quarterback. Yeah. Auburn's decent all around, just no negative quarterback play. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping the attention this game doesn't affect Connor as much as the Notre Dame one. Well, at least Connor has that Notre Dame experience under his belt now, right? All that film, all that experience to lean on, few games in a row under his belt. Hopefully we see the best Connor yet, because he can't have 4 turnover-worthy plays. Yeah, Jeb, he's 20 and he's a true freshman. Isn't that crazy? He looks like it, right? He looks more mature than a freshman. It makes total sense. Noble Guy, what up, man? I see you in the call-in chat, the call-in waiting room. We'll get to you in a second. Good to see you, Noble. We're just going through the game, setting the stage. We got a lot of LSU to talk throughout the whole week. I got this show. We're going to talk a lot of LSU. Obviously, such a big game. We're going to reflect on Mississippi State. I got a preview coming out. We'll do more LSU talk on Thursday. Final thoughts, score predictions, all that stuff. Silly said, I had a nightmare that LSU game ended with a score of 74-72, but LSU won this time. That's revisionist history there, sir. It didn't happen, sir or ma'am. I can't tell. I don't have an Abby. I only see Silly. Lash says, TU's cheerleaders never look better than they did picking up the trash at DKR Stadium. Yeah. That wasn't the only trash on the field last night. Oh, what a burn. Shut up, Drew. Connor won't have 2 bad games in a row. I hope not, man. I feel like he can pick up from his mistakes. He's a smart player. Elko and Bateman are scheme gurus. I think they'll be able to scheme up that O-line. That's the key to the game. We know we have the athletes, but they do too. So it's about out-scheming them, man. Both teams are going to hit the drawing board hard. We'll see, man. I don't know how to feel about this Miss State team because every game is close. I think they're not as bad as their record shows. Man, obviously, I don't even think they're a bottom-tier SEC team anymore. I think OU has dropped behind them. I think Auburn has potentially dropped behind them. And I think there's a good chance they catch Arkansas next week, man. They look really freaking good. And they had a good defensive scheme to go on top of it, too. I think, yeah, Jeb, I think they're going to upset Arky. I think I'm going to make that pick. But anyway, let's get into a couple of my favorite plays of the game. A couple of those weird ref calls, and then we'll get right into the calls. Boom. All right. Here's another play. We've highlighted this one several times on the show by now, but this is Nick Scorton being used as the read player on a zone read RPO type of a play. You see Scorton at the bottom of the screen here. He's not going to be blocked, and this is just what we've gotten used to seeing. Our team's going to keep reading him. He just is too athletic, too decisive, too instinctual to read right now. We've seen Arkansas try it. We saw Missouri try it. No one has been able to do it. And even if Van Buren keeps there, you feel like he's not out of there quick enough for Scorton not to make the play. Scorton's ready to redirect. It's just, he's a menace to deal with, man. He's such a blessing, and we're glad to hear that he shouldn't be hurt. All right, this is the first of 2 Le'Veon Moss plays that got negated due to penalty. I'll show you guys the play, then we'll look at the penalty. They call this illegal, what do they call it? Illegal procedure by the offense, something like that. So this is just an awesome run. The penalty had nothing to do with the run, unfortunately. Look at Moss just, I mean, it's so good. Look, he stiff arms this player to Narnia. Look at number 10 right here. Owie. Oh my goodness. But the penalty, so they called this illegal because A&M had 2 players in motion. That's what the ref said on the call on the field. And they called it on Barber right here and Theo Mellon-Nordstrom right here. Barber was late aligning, which is a theme we have seen with the receiver group. And Barber is newer to the group than the rest because obviously he started with an injury. And we see him align late, and he's still barely setting that last foot when Theo starts his motion, and it made it illegal. So look, he's still barely aligning. He takes a step, and he's moving. And that's the penalty, and that negates the explosive run. What is this? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30-yard run negated. Unfortunate, man. Unfortunate. They got him by, like, literally a half a step. All right, this is Cassius Howell, who we don't highlight enough. He's been such a weapon on the team. Going into the year, I called him an elite weapon in his role because obviously he's a third down pass rush kind of a player. And Elko talked about how they used him in coverage a lot more this game than normal with their pass-heavy attack. He performed really well in that. But the quarterback's going to call slide protection this way, which leaves the running back to get the last rusher this way. And this is what happens when you stick a running back on an elite edge rusher like Cassius Howell. He just eats him. I mean, there's just no resistance there. So when you have weapons and athletes like A&M, they maybe read him as sort of a linebacker type of player because of how A&M was using him on the day. And you pay for that because you have the bodies to do it with. It's just awesome to watch, man. It's the beauty of having the personnel that you do. Here's another one. Which play is this? Okay, so yeah. Connor had some bad plays on the day, no doubt. But he also had some really good plays, and this is one of the good ones. And this isn't even a bad snap. I think this is Connor just mishandling a snap. It is really hard for a quarterback to have to take his eyes away from his route progressions and then get his eyes back downfield and complete a pass. I mean, obviously a split second mid-play is an eternity. And he does that here, and he evades pressure, and he gets the ball out. So obviously snap gets bobbled. Then he has pressure, takes his eyes away downfield, and then he's able to square up and make a pass to an open receiver. I mean, Connor had some really good moments and really bad moments in the game. We just need to see more good than bad in the game versus LSU. We know it's there, man. We know it's there. Yeah, good stuff from Connor on that one. Obviously, we saw bad stuff too. All right. This is Le'Veon's touchdown run. Well-blocked play. Good pull by Reed Adams. Even though he fell, he still got enough body. But I really love the push from Cyrus Allen. Oh, Cyrus Allen and Thor here. They're the ones that got the last push that helped Moss into the end zone. But Moss is a beast. So much drive. We saw him pound 2 similar runs into the end zone this game. You love to see this hustle right here. This is the highlight from Cyrus Allen. I know he had the drop, but I say he made up for it with this play. I think it was the same possession, actually. Cool to see. This is just Dalton Brooks recognizing run. This has been such a benefit to this offense since the Arkansas game, really shoring up the run deficiencies we saw early in the year versus Bowling Green, versus Notre Dame, even versus McNeese for one play with the ones out there. But look at him. Look how quick the recognition is. Look how quick he's on the play. Squaring up, making a play, and a good shed by Torrey and York to boot. I love watching Dalton Brooks play, man. He's really changing this defense. He's really added an important element to the run stop from as a safety. Here's Shamar Stewart just beasting. Now, this is also a showcase of Van Buren because Van Buren gets this ball out and gets a first down. But look at this is a tackle. This is a left tackle, your best offensive lineman on Shamar Stewart. And Shamar Stewart just eats him. I mean, come on. We'll just quickly go through that. We know. We've seen it a lot. And he doesn't always connect on his plays, but he's doing this pretty consistently, man. This is just, we'll go quickly on this. You got to go down when Albert Regis gets his seatbelt on you because he's going to throw you. And this can be a penalty if he's not careful. But the suplex has become his signature play. We've seen it like 3 times on the year. Love to see it. Who else we got in here? Oh, okay, this was an issue that we saw all game that we're going to have to account for versus LSU. So, obviously, running backs lining up on this side. Strong side to run is this side. They consistently brought weak side blitzes because A&M was either reading them poorly or just not accounting for them with blockers because they're relying on the running back to outrun them. And I don't know if this is a bad read. I believe this is a bad read by Connor on an RPO because you have an RPO option right here or Connor can run. But this blitzer chases down the runner on what would have been a great run. There he is. You're blocked well over here, but you get chased down right here. And I believe a lot of people are blaming Theo on this play because Theo disregards him. I believe this is a read guy. And Connor makes the wrong read here. And he chases him down. And that would have been an amazingly big run if it's not for that player. So that's on tape. You're going to have to watch that. LSU knows about that. Break tendencies or account for him at different plays. This is this is one of the turnover-worthy passes by Connor. I actually think this is the right choice that Connor made, but you see this linebacker stand firm here and not chase the guy in motion right here or the route over here. So they shift over, but this guy's actually going to stay here, and Connor doesn't see him, puts the ball on a rope, and that should have been intercepted. This linebacker here, it looks like he's going to chase Jaubrey, but he doesn't. Sticks in the zone. But even though that's there, if Connor recognizes it, he lays the ball over the head. That's a touchdown or at least a huge gain. Because look, this is the help right here over the top. He's chasing Cyrus Allen here. So you have a window to throw over the left shoulder of Moss here if you wanted to. Connor threw to the right guy, made the right read. He chose the bad ball, and he did not see this guy. So it's on tape, Connor. It's on tape. This was a perfectly blocked play. And this is an example of Amari choosing the right hole, which we haven't seen consistently from him, and getting a touchdown. Oh, this isn't a touchdown play. My mistake. I'm thinking of a different play. But perfectly blocked play. O-line was inconsistent on the game, but perfect combo blocks, and we didn't see that consistently on the game. They get to the linebackers here, which they didn't do all game. This is a good run for a first down on a 3rd and 5. Love to see it. Okay, what do you guys think? This was the offensive pass interference that negated a big play. I believe this was 3rd down. This is the push-off by Jade. He extends his arms, but this is that small corner they were trying to pick on the whole game, and I think he's just small, and I don't think this was an egregious push-off, but the optics of his arm extended are there. I think this is just a weight room deal. I don't think you push him that hard here, and he looks like he's getting pushed off, and they call it. Great catch by Jade. Great ball by Connor. I mean, I get it. He extends his arm. Jade just hits the brakes better than this DB, really. But I get the optics, man. They're going to ticky-tack call it. It's going to happen. You just got to watch your extension. But look, the defensive player makes first contact. They're hand fighting. Look, hand on him first. Other hands out to match it. And he just pushes, and he just kind of backs off a little bit, and they call a push-off. Oh, frustrating. Yep, I thought it was equal opportunity by both hands, except the smaller guy gets pushed back because weight room and Jade is a beast. Oh, well, man. Do we want to watch the Van Buren highlight? Okay, who else thought this play was this ball was definitely going out of bounds? Under pressure, immense pressure, throws the ball, and he completes it. I mean, this guy's a wizard. He's going to be freaking good. I hope we don't go there his junior year. I'm not afraid to say it. I don't want to go to Starkville his junior year. I just don't. This is another weird call. Highly debated call. He throws this one to nowhere. How is this not grounding? I mean, maybe someone in the chat can explain to me how this isn't grounding, because I can't figure it out. He doesn't get hit till after the ball is released. So I'm eliminating that. A lot of people were like, oh, he's getting hit while the ball is released. You can't call it intentional grounding if he's getting hit. But he's not getting hit until after the ball's gone. Ball's gone, he's hit, right? Well, the other argument I heard was that the receiver runs a post when he should have ran a corner. But I don't think, is that a factor in calling intentional grounding? Look, I'm just here bitching about it. I'm here bitching about it. It doesn't really matter, but I'm curious about the rule here. This looks like grounding to me. There's no one within 15 yards, 20 yards of this ball. I don't know, man. That one, I can't get my head around this one. I can kind of see an argument for the other ones. Even this one, I can see an argument. This is the other explosive run by Moss. Moss gets like a 30-yard gainer here. They called holding on 55, Reed Adams in the game, but they later clarified that it was actually meant to be on 78 right here. I mean, you have your hands on the shoulder pads. They're going to call it. But again, it's a ticky-tack call that you don't always see called. I guess you hold them enough, but it's very ticky-tack. We really got bit with some of these calls that could have gone either way. Didn't do so great with them. But, I mean, You got to let go of the shoulder pads. You can't have your hand on the shoulder pads. But it's a small guy that the giant Demetrius Cronover's blocking. Bottles on the field. Throw in my cans next time. We know what to do. We know what to do. All right, what else do I have? Oh, here's Shamar Turner getting I think this is a strip sack late in the game. Unfortunately, no one saw the ball come loose, or else I think someone could have dove on it. Look at Shamar Turner beating this guy. Just bull rushing him, getting through. Strip. And they land on it. If Shamar Turner would have seen it, I feel like he would have grabbed it. But another beast move. We've had 4 different beast moves by 4 different defensive linemen that we've showcased just in this video. And there were more than just this. This is what makes the game versus LSU so exciting, because they have one of the best pass protecting offensive lines in the country, man. All right, this is a play that's eerily similar to that reverse, that sneaky reverse that Bowling Green ran on us that scored a touchdown, their second touchdown of the game, not the explosive tight end touchdown. But we sniffed this one out perfectly. The play's running this way. They reverse it this way. And look who it is. Look who it freaking is. The Cure. Dalton Brooks sniffs it out. And you also had, I think, who is this right here? Torian's on it too. And Shamar Stewart. We sniffed it out, man. You fool us once. Never get fooled again. I love it. Brooks is so good, man. He's going to be a superstar. He's a superstar in the making. That's it, man. Those are all the vids I wanted to go through with you guys. Let's check in with the chat one more time, then we'll end with calls. Anybody else wants to get a call in now. It'll only take a few tonight, but I see 3 in the waiting room with a time for a few more beyond that if anybody wants to get in there. Who else? Lash says Gordon was ready to take a handoff on that first play. He was right there, man. It was very close to blowing up both the quarterback and the running back, which he's almost always in position to do. They attack the mesh. They're attacking the mesh point, the handoff. They're not keying in on an individual player. They're coached really well, and they're really athletic on top of it. Barber had a game, becoming our second best option. Man, he is such a safety valve on the short routes right now. The outs were so crispy. The crossing routes, he has great hands on those. He caught a really low ball from Connor for a first down on the first drive. Dean Frater says, love watching your followers, views, numbers grow. Deserved. Thank you, Dean. I really appreciate that. We're going to keep growing it. We're not stopping. Thomas Life, good to see you. I really wanted Moss to hit 100-plus yards. He would have if it weren't for those negated plays. We have so many Ds that don't play. I know Rylan Kennedy had a sack in the game. He barely plays, man. He barely plays. We have Celisar. We have Scylla. We have Eni White there, and they're all dudes. I think Howell's a senior, right? I believe he's a senior, unfortunately. It'd be nice to get another year out of him. Who knows, though? Like, people milk eligibility in weird ways these days. Who knows what the hell happens? Week 9 is upon us indeed. Yes, sir, Chris. Yes, sir. State blitz a lot compared to Mizzou. Yeah. That's usually a read Connor makes. This happens every freaking game. That's no offensive PI. Yeah, man, I don't know. I get the ticky-tack nature of it. Like, if you're going to be ticky-tack, you can call it. But we came up on the wrong side of a lot of ticky-tacks. It is what it is. I'm here bitching about it. Doesn't make a big difference. You got to play within yourself because you know SEC officiating is like this. It's been like this all year. It's how it's going to be. It's not a push-up, but it looks like it. Yeah. Yeah. Hope we feed Jade this game. I know Jade makes plays, man. I love to see him. Reed should have played the second half. I don't agree with that. I still think you need to get Connor acclimated and ready to go. He's your highest upside. We saw what Reed brings. He does take care of the ball. He does add the running element, but he is so in the learning phase of being a consistent passer that it makes your offense one-dimensional, and it's just not what we need. Connor represents the upside on this year. I have no doubts about Reed's long-term trajectory. His reps this year will play dividends. But right now, it makes us too one-dimensional. I love Reed, though. If Connor goes down, I have a level of confidence in him. But you gotta just try Connor. You gotta let him figure it out, and I think he will. I don't get the whole tackling box thing. He was in the tackle box. Tackle box is just tackle to tackle. If you're within there, it's supposed to be grounding. But there are other rules in there as well. I don't even want to get into it. It's making me mad. You can't be in the pocket and throw it away, even if it's a pass line of scrimmage. That was grounding. Yeah, there was no receiver around there. There's no receiver around there. Sports fan says it's holding. That's fair. I can see it. If it happened at TU Bottles, yeah, exactly. Do not throw things. Do not throw things, people. Do not throw things, especially if you're going to lose the game after. Shamar Turner is so good. He is really good. We don't throw things. We do the horse laugh. That's right. We do go hiss. Brooks is a grown man. Does May start over Hill? I think this is the game where it happens. We saw Hill get burned again this game. I think this is the game where May starts. We'll see. I think it'll also be a shuffle. I think it'll be a rotation still, but I have a feeling May starts this week. Won't get fooled again. Sounds like a Who song. Yeah, exactly. We need Basantis back. We'll see, man. I have a feeling he doesn't play. LSU versus A&M, who you got? Depends on what time of day you're asking me. Depends on my feeling. Depends on my nutrition levels. Depends on my hydration levels. It's a coin flip for me right now. I do not know who I'm going to pick in my preview video. I might pick LSU. Will you guys hate me if I pick LSU? I might pick LSU just, by principle. And then everything on top of that's gravy, baby. Cody has a great game. Me too, man. I'll say this about Reed. If Connor just doesn't have it, you don't want to waste a game. I would not do another Notre Dame and just let him waste a game. Reed is a winner. It would have to be a pretty bad disaster to pull the trigger, in my opinion. But, yeah, sure. If it goes south and it's looking like a Notre Dame day, yeah, absolutely. But I don't think Mississippi State was that level. They can call holding whenever they want. It's true. It's true. Talk about how targeting has ruined the game. I don't think the rule of targeting is necessarily ruining the game. I think the inconsistency of calling the rule, calling the penalty is ruining the game. Because, yeah, I'm not getting into it, Jeb. You're not going to lure me into this debate. Did you see where the team put up their old LSU visit pics around the facility? Yeah, I saw Ruben Owens hanging out in there. That was funny. No, I pick LSU, honestly, but like you, I'm back and forth. Yeah, man, exactly. I heard these darn T-Sips started to kiss each other after the Georgia game. Why were they kissing each other? They were sad. Were they depression kisses? I don't know. That's weird. I pick LSU to get the beat the hell out of. All right, guys, let's get right into the calls.
I pick LSU.
Lash, you're on with Drew.
All right, guys, let's get right into the calls.
All right, Lash, you got an echo situation going. You got to turn me off your TV.
All right, Lash, you got an echo situation going. You got to turn me off your TV.
Okay, done.
Sweet. All right, I got you loud and clear, Lash. How you feeling, man? How you feeling about the Aggies?
Well, I like our chances. I'm glad we're playing them College Station and not Baton Rouge,
Absolutely.
especially since it's a night game.
Oh yeah. Well, how you feeling since we last talked? I mean, I think it's been a few weeks since we've talked. The Aggies have racked up a few more wins. I think we talked before the Missouri game, and you said that you would have a new reflection for me after we got past Missouri, and now we're 2 games past it.
Well, we could be anywhere from 8-4 to 11-1, depending on how things go the rest of the year.
Yeah.
I could see arguments for either scenario or anyone in between.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the real reason I called. And I can't remember who it was, but when I mentioned the debacle in Austin,
yeah,
some smart Alex said no, nobody saw it. I assumed he was being sarcastic, so I said, well, if you're sarcastic, I'll move on. If you're being serious, you can wait for my rant if Drew takes my call. Well, here we are.
Okay.
I have been watching Texas games since the quote-unquote game of the century between TU and Arkansas in 1968.
Yep.
So I've got some history there. And most of your listeners weren't even thought of, let alone born in 1968.
My parents were kids.
I was 13, okay? My two big memories, well, actually I have more than 2, but 2 of the big memories from 1968 were that Texas-Arkansas game and the Democrat convention in Chicago.
Yeah.
And then for good measure, Martin Luther King and RFK both were assassinated that year. 68 was a piece of work. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, in that, what is it, 55 or 56 years since 1968, there's one thing I have noticed that spans that entire time.
Let's hear it.
TSIP fans have a sense of entitlement that knows no bounds. Always have, always will. When they think they've gotten screwed, nobody screams louder than they do. And yesterday they had the temper tantrum to beat all temper tantrums. I'm amazed nobody got killed. I mean, I taught high school physics, so if I had to, I could calculate the impact of a full beer can falling 100 feet from the upper deck of a football stadium if it meets a human skull. It will not be pretty. So
That's
they're damn lucky nobody got hurt. That's number one. Number two, and both Josh Pate and Kirby Smart touched on this after the game. Anybody that thinks that total ugly display and the fact that the call got reversed or not linked is whacked out of their minds on drugs.
yeah.
Because I look at this. You got the call made. Yeah, it was a bad call. Yeah, they got it right. But they only had the time, because since it's a non-reviewable call, they only had the time to discuss it on the field because all the crap that rained down onto the field from the crap that was in the stands.
Yeah.
And what does every stadium that has one do when there's a delay for something like that? They run the play over and over on the jumbotron.
Yeah.
You've got, I'm not sure how many officials there were, but they're only human. They're standing there in the middle. They're standing there in the middle of the field, and they're looking at this play over and over again. And they say, yeah, we blew it. And boy, are these people pissed. So maybe we ought to pick up the flag.
Yeah. I wasn't going to get into it, but you brought it up. It's a scary precedent. I mean, it worked.
And that's exactly what Kirby Smart said. And he said, and basically you're rewarding bad behavior. And if you think we've seen the last of this, when there's a blown call that goes against the home team, you're crazy. Because everybody, particularly when you're dealing with a bunch of 18 through 22-year-olds sitting in the stands, particularly the ones that are old enough to drink, they see this and they're like, I know how to get my way next time.
You're right.
I'll throw the first beer can because all my idiot friends will start throwing theirs. I mean, I taught high school for 20 years. It only takes one, and then all the other sheep follow, and or steers or whatever, And for those that don't know, Bevo is a steer. He's not a bull. And if you want to know the difference, I'll be more than happy to explain it. I explain it to every T-sip, every chance I get.
Explain it.
A bull still has them, and a steer has them cut off.
There you go.
Bulls sing baritone, steers sing soprano.
Is that what they mean by saw 'em off? Is that the true definition of saw 'em off? Maybe that
it might be, although when I was at A&M, the popular method was what they called bloodless castration. I was an animal science major, by the way. Have you ever seen a Burdizzo?
No.
If you haven't, Google it.
I'm going to Google it right now, and I'll share it if it's legal.
Basically, what it does is it crushes the blood supply to the testicles.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, and you're conscious for that. At least if you're a bull calf, you are. Okay? And they've since done away with that because, yeah, there you go. That's a Burdizzo.
You see it?
Yep. Because I have the screen that I muted was so that I'd still have your picture and everything.
Yeah.
I was talking to you.
Yeah.
Because the chat screen has none of that stuff. But yeah, that's a Burdizzo. Now picture one that's the size of a pipe wrench.
Yeah.
Clamped down on, on you know what.
Yeah.
That hurt. I don't know about you, but that hurts me just thinking about it.
I'm not liking thinking about it, but I appreciate you bringing it up.
Anyhow, that's what some of those yo-yos up in the stand should have happened to them because we don't need any of them reproducing. I'm sorry.
Oh my.
Let's skim the shallow end of the gene pool.
Yeah,
I told you I was loaded for bear on this one.
you're ready. Oh my
And,
god.
and to that guy who thought I was being sarcastic before, I hope you're listening, pal.
I think you win the duel. All right, Lash.
Uh,
I mean, I'm afraid to ask. Any closing thoughts?
I'm hoping against hope that this doesn't happen at some other game this week when a bad call goes against the home team, or we may have, like one of the other people said, we may have to put nets up like they do at soccer stadiums in South America because people storm the field and start killing players if they don't like the way the game went. You can look that one up too. It happens.
Yeah.
In fact, when we hosted the World Cup in, I think it was '92. I could be wrong about the year, but it was early '90s, '92 or '94. The United States team won the first game in their group because a Colombian player own goaled a ball. In other words, he deflected it into his own net.
Yeah.
That guy was killed practically as soon as he got off the plane in Colombia. For real.
Jeez.
Yeah. You think we have fans that are out of control here? South American soccer fans take the cake. And I hope to God we never even approach that. But things like this weekend in Austin, and then rewarding the behavior, just scares the hell out of me because when you're as old as I am, I'm staring 70 in the face. You've seen a lot of crap.
Well
and
said.
As far as what you said earlier about don't throw things, hopefully Aggies have more class than that. I know we got more class than T-Sips, but that's a given. But
Yeah. Well, I think we call it there, Lash.
end of rant.
Beautiful rant. Beautiful rant. I don't know, chat. I might have to clip that. That might have to be its own little video. I think that was the perfect rant. We got to keep it going. But all right, Lash. Please call back in the future. I want to hear the next rant.
And I advise anybody to Google Kirby Smart and Josh Pate to see what they said after that, because I borrowed liberally from the two of them. I just colored it up a little bit.
Oh, I think you did better. You one up them. Let me ask you this one final question. Do you have any kind of similar disdain for LSU?
Not even close. I don't think there's anybody. I don't think there's anybody I hate, detest, and despise like I do to you. USC from my Big Ten days growing up in Chicago, they're right up there, and Michigan because I grew up an Ohio State fan. And if I had a minute to think, I'm not going to take up any more of your time, but if I had a minute to think, I could come up with one or two more. All I'll say about USC is that they thought they were good enough to blow up the Pac-12 to join the Big Ten. Surprise!
Yeah.
Couldn't happen to a nicer bunch of rich you-know-whats.
Exactly. Well, all right, Lash. I appreciate the rant. I appreciate the words. And I might bring up Berdiza the next Texas game.
Yeah, and I'm amazed I got through it without dropping an F-bomb because you can tell I'm fired up about this one.
You can. Next time, maybe drop one or two. We'll see what happens. But all right, Lash, we're going to call it there. I appreciate the call. You have a great night.
Yeah, you keep it up.
All right. Well, that was magical. I have no words. What he said. I don't think I can add to that. I wasn't going to touch on it. I'm going to let him have it. That's the final word on the situation. Play to win. You're on with Drew. How you feeling, my friend?
Oh, I'm feeling great, brother.
You feeling great? You feeling great?
Yeah. Hey, kudos to Lash. I think he put the hammer on the nail.
I think he did.
He is, man. I like him.
I know, right? He spoke it perfectly, man. He said what we were all thinking.
Yes.
None of us could put it the way he put it. And
No.
we gave him his 5 to 10 minutes, whatever that was. Time didn't exist during that rant, and he got it done. It was perfect.
Yeah, he got on the platform and used it well.
Yes, absolutely.
You know,
So I
kudos
guess,
to Lash.
yeah. I guess we'll reel it back in now. How you feeling coming off that game? How you feeling
Well,
going into a week versus LSU?
Well, Drew, back in the first of the season, one of the shows I was telling you, and I think you kind of felt that same way, a little apprehensive about Mississippi State. I was concerned about that game. Reason being because they beat us the last 4 out of 5 times, and we're going in Starkville.
Yeah.
And we had our hands full because I'm going to tell you something. Mississippi State's a little bit better football team than anybody give them credit for. Just
Absolutely.
One win. Those guys are on their way to being at our level probably next season, and they're really going to be a threat. So if we have to play them again, we better be ready.
100%.
Yeah. In that play you showed Janae Walker.
Yeah, the push off.
And the push off.
The
Both
push
were pushing off each other, but we got the penalty because we're not everybody's favorite college team. So
it felt that way. It felt that way in the game. And of course, we're extremely biased. I'll acknowledge that, but it was consistent. But I will say SEC refs are consistently bad.
Yeah. So, it could have gone either way, but it went against us. And something else, I was watching Connor's throws. I think the first one was an overthrow for the interception. The next one was a slip the overthrow was like a slip, a rush. I don't know. The next one, the guy just came in front of, he just didn't see. He kind of hesitated.
Yeah.
When he should have thrown it, he hesitated like a pump. He pumped, then he would throw, and it was about that same kind of timing. And he realized that he probably looked at the game film like, okay,
yeah,
sorry, coach. Yeah, but we hung in there. We got a W, and in I think a pretty hostile environment. Mississippi State was just like, yeah, come on down here. Yeah, come over.
Right.
Oh, come on. But I mean, it was a close game. And, we did enough to win, but I saw some things were good. I saw some things were bad. But in our defense, Scooby Williams was just awesome. Torian York, of course, Nick Scorton, the Scorton monster. He was just terrorizing their quarterback. And that's what we got to do at LSU. LSU, halfway through the season, their quarterback's been sacked twice. We've got to find a way to get in there. I'm going to bring Scooby up the middle. Bring somebody from pressure from the left and the right. Run some stunts. Maybe send 2 off the edge.
Yeah, overloads and stuff like
one
that.
Don't get through, but maybe one will.
Yeah.
And had to run some. Especially on third down situations. Especially if we got a slight lead and we just want to stop them. We got to stop on third down. It's critical, or make them kick a field goal or try a field goal. So. It's going to be critical on third downs.
Hey, do you have my YouTube screen pulled up where you can see it? I want to show you a play.
Yeah, I got it right now.
It might be delayed for you, but check this out. This is what UGA did a few times against Texas, and this was a really interesting high-level stunt that they ran. So they're in a normal, what is this, like a 3-4 or some more standard third down look. And look at this last-minute shift right before the snap. They shift this guy over. They get into a double mug look, and the O-line cannot account for it. It comes so late, and it's so clean. I want to run stuff exotic because this is a really, really good O-line, a Texas-level O-line they're going against. I know I'm glazing Texas, but they have a good O-line. That's their best NFL prospect position on the team. LSU has a similar thing, and I think we're going to get some exotics. And I don't think that's even a hot take because that's what Elko does. Elko draws up deceiving either simulated pressures or real pressures themselves. We need to get creative.
Yeah.
I mean, one-on-ones, yes, we'll win our share of one-on-ones versus LSU, but we won't win them all. That is one of the few O-lines in the country that can go toe to toe with our defensive line. And I know I'm as Aggie as it gets. I'm as biased as it gets, and I'll acknowledge that. It's a real top level pass pro offensive line. They've given up 2 freaking sacks on the year. I mean, you got to get creative. You got to bring pressure in different ways. You got to show pressure in different ways,
Yes.
and you have to keep that quarterback thinking.
Yeah, I don't think he's much. He's more of a pocket passer. I don't think he's much of a run. I mean,
Right.
it hasn't had to, because what we got to do is pressure him, rush him, run different schemes to make to just disrupt their timing.
Right.
If you can disrupt their timing and be in his face a lot, and a lot of hurries, hurry throws, and that's gonna throw him off. He'll have overthrows. He'll, throw short, and we'll be successful that way. And I'm pretty, I have all the faith in our defense. I mean, these guys are playing great. We have a great football. I mean, like all American.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys deserve that. Because that's how they're playing. And I mean, especially Scorton, he was playing sick to his stomach.
He was sick leading into the game. I don't know if he was sick during the game, but what Elko explained was that he wasn't able to properly hydrate and nourish himself leading into it, and that was resulting in cramping. So I don't know if he played sick or if he was sick before, but regardless, sickness was a factor in the game.
Yeah. But that man's desire is just 100%. I'm just, he's so focused.
Yeah.
On his position, his play, and his performances. I mean, he's sick, and he performed well. That says a lot for him as a person.
Absolutely. He kept playing. He never left the game permanently. He was in for third downs. He wasn't playing as much as he probably would have liked, but he had enough to keep pushing and going and making an impact on the game. I remember him chasing the quarterback out of the pocket late in the fourth quarter when he was probably on his last, bit of fuel and getting it done, which was awesome. And we talk about all these battles, but one position group battle that we haven't talked about yet is their receiver group against A&M's learning and growing DB unit that I think is getting better by the day. You didn't give up any explosive passes versus Mississippi State, and that's what they did against Georgia. So maybe you look at the run deficiencies as a place to work on going into next week. But I'm really excited to see a very diverse group of receivers, including an elite receiving tight end in Mason Taylor. They have a very deep pocket of receivers. They use about 4 different guys throughout the whole game, barely favoring anybody. I mean, look at these numbers. It's very evenly distributed. 36 receptions, 33 receptions, 36, 27. And you're going to need all of your bodies in that secondary to play to their best of their capabilities, probably the best game they've played all year, because these guys can get open. They're not super explosive. I mean, look at the longs. They're not making these huge dynamic plays, but they consistently get open.
Well, that's what I'm concerned about, them burning us on the sideline on a fly. And I saw it in the Arkansas game. I remember one of them, the guys crossing the field, catch the ball, and we're behind him, and we're trying to catch up, and it's too late now. He's going to score.
Yeah.
And getting burned that way, that's my biggest concern, is them open the passing lanes, and we can't get to them in time to disrupt them, and what they're trying to do. But he said, I was listening to some guy a while ago, so they'll nickel and dime you to death if they can't throw long. Yeah, well, they have that ability.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they're in the same position we are. They only have 1 loss.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's gonna be a fight, and it's gonna be a night game, but it's gonna be a Kyle Field. Thankfully, we're not down in Death Valley.
I know, man. I know.
I mean, it's just we have a chance, I mean, and a good one, because we have a better improved team. I think if we play like the Mizzou game, I mean, it's just lights out. They're done.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be a 41-10, but I think we score. I'm going to make a prediction right now. I think we score at least 5 touchdowns. I'm thinking 35-27.
Wow.
And they come up short. We win because we're going up against the best right now, the best we've seen.
Yeah.
So far. And I mean, their offense is trying to get to that quarterback is going to be a job, but knowing Elko, he's a defensive mind. Jay Bateman is probably, they got together and go, we got to come up with something original. We got to come up with something, deceptive that that they're just not expecting, and keep those offensive linemen off guard. It's catch them, catch the holes, run through them, get the quarterback. That's all. And that's all I'm going to be saying. Get that quarterback. Get him.
Yeah, exactly. They have the players to do whatever they want with. It's just a matter of implementing and executing on the plays, but I think we have the guys to do it. So, yeah, it's going to be scheme versus scheme. It's going to be really, really fun to watch. Any closing thoughts, Play to Win?
That we play our best game because we're going to need our best game. And I know those guys are going to be up for it. Man, I got all the faith in them.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm behind Coach Elko 100%. Whatever he does, he knows what he's doing. I love his press conferences.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I can't wait to see the Pulse Wednesday. That's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I say 35-27 A&M. Picking A&M. I got to go with my Aggies.
I love it, man. We got to play to win the game. All right, Play to Win. You have a good night.
All right, buddy. We'll see.
Bye. All right, let's get in with the last caller, Noble Guy. I have time for one more. If Jeb wants to get on, now is the time. Noble Guy, you're on with Drew. How you feeling, man?
Hey, what's up? It's been a strong start to the night from callers so far.
I know, they've been on fire, man. We had the last rant, off topic but beautiful, and then we just had some great analysis from Play to Win. You got to follow it up, man. What, you gonna sing for us?
Yeah, no, I thought we were gonna end strong, not end like that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, we'd be going the wrong way there.
Okay, so first of all, great stream on Saturday. I think everyone had a blast following. You know, it was a pretty good day. I mean, you know, we got out of Starkville win. We had a hate watch for a while. I mean, the vibes were immaculate at the end of the day.
Yeah, they were amazing, man. I mean, look, I'm not talking all the shit in the world of Texas. I'm not texting my UT buddies. I'm not doing anything. We enjoyed the night. We won. Our rival lost on a big stage. It was fun.
Yep.
But I'm not pointing and laughing. I'm not getting in anybody's faces because we got to go out there and beat Texas A&M and win our freaking games and let the chips fall where they may until we play them November 30th. We beat them. I'm talking all the shit. But until then,
100% agree.
I'm just enjoying from afar.
Yep, I totally agree. Yeah, we enjoyed the moment, and then quite frankly, we have a bigger thing to look at, and that's this weekend. But real quick, as far as last weekend goes, I think your score prediction, if I recall, was like 38-20, and mine was 30-23.
You were the closest.
What?
You were the closest score prediction.
Oh, well, I mean, I was gonna say, like, we weren't far off though in that idea. Like, it's just essentially you can't account for turnovers, and that's just, I think if we throw one less interception, we can get a pretty, our scores would have been pretty spot on. I thought Mississippi State's offense was clicking, and I will say, like, I didn't anticipate us struggling at the end of the half and the front of the half like that, but then we really shut them down in the second half. Aside from when we spotted the ball at like the 10-yard line.
Short field. Yeah, man. And that interception, who knows if you score on that possession. Then there were a couple drives that were cut short. One was by way of Connor tripping on the running back and throwing the ball away. He had an open receiver for a first down in plus territory. There was another play where Le'Veon had a short gain on a 3rd and 2, and his legs got tied up with an offensive lineman's, and he tripped. He ended up punting the ball away. There were opportunities for more points in the game, but, are we going to say the word, or are you going to execute me? You know what I mean? Like, you didn't get it done in that regard.
I think that's the word. I don't think we need to be afraid to say it because I think, Klein's gotten too much flack this season for no reason because the plays are there to be made. I think, going into LSU, I think the coaches will come up with a great game plan because they put the players in positions to follow through or change words up, and have a game-winning play. It just the players haven't made those plays necessarily.
They've been inconsistent in making the plays. Yeah.
Exactly. But we're going home. I think that's a big help. And then Mississippi State's a good team to knock the rust off. Is that a thing? Is rust off a bye week a thing?
Elko talked about it. Players talked about it today. Everyone acknowledged it, especially in Aggie Land. We're like, 3-7 on our last 10 buys, coming off our last 10 buys. It must be a real thing, and I am very glad we're coming off against New Mexico State or whichever New Mexico we're playing in our second buy of the year. Yeah, man, it's become a real thing. I think maybe for the underdog, the lesser teams, they have a chance to scheme and, play with abandon. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It seems to bite us in the butt more often than it helps, aside from getting healthy.
Yeah, but some other notes from the Mississippi State game real quick. I think I don't think there were too many large chunk plays downfield. Maybe like one, maybe two.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, our defensive line was able to harass a QB enough so that they didn't have time to take those long chunks downfield. And then I will say, like, we didn't have like a ton of sacks. We obviously had some, but I mean, Van Buren seemed really quick. So,
Yeah.
again, against lesser, I think him and Lenore Sellers are probably the two dual threat quarterbacks that were left on our schedule that I can think of.
Sounds about right.
And
Peyton Thorne,
and then,
kind of, but I mean, is he really dual threat? He's just a runner.
I mean, he can't even pass the ball, so
Yeah.
he might just be a no threat. But anyways, I think against less mobile quarterbacks, those are sacks. Of course, like I think this week going into LSU, this is going to be the biggest test against O line we faced, and this is going to be a great test because we're going to face an even better O line on November 30th. So this is going to be a good test for us. And then, I was gonna say, we need to. I don't think it's anyone in our particular your followers, but like we need to stop flip flopping on Connor and just recognize that Connor's a gunslinger. Like there are gonna be some pros and cons to that. The man's going to throw it downfield, and if he's on, he's on. And he had an off day, and it didn't cost us. And aside from Notre Dame, I don't think there's been a game where he himself has cost us a game. Now, there's games he's lost, but not because of him.
Yeah, and if you're looking at his total, body of work, it's a short sample size, but it's more likely than not that he doesn't revert to that Notre Dame performance again. I mean, it's very, very conceivable that he just keeps getting better. And maybe it's not like you said, like you made this point a couple of weeks ago, maybe linear is not always a straight line, improvement's not always a linear, line or whatever.
It's not linear, yeah.
Yeah. And there might be ups and downs, but I don't think we're going to have those pitfalls under Connor again. And yeah, man, I mean, he wasn't perfect. You won the game. You got to clean stuff up, but I'm riding with Connor 100%.
Agreed. Like it would have to take a disastrous performance for Connor to get pulled. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like worse than what Quinn Ewers was doing the other day. Like, I don't think I understand why they pulled Quinn to put Arch in, but like, I mean, no one was going to perform that offensive line performance, just in that sort of situation. And I don't think putting another quarterback and like Connor still has not had a full season to develop yet. And
he's like 10 games in. Yeah.
Exactly. But as far as LSU goes, this is what you sign up. This is what you want A&M to be in, where it's like it's just a little different because we didn't think it was going to be an LSU type. We thought it was going to be like a Texas and Alabama or even a Georgia kind of type team where it's a one-loss team or undefeated team, and it's good on good, strength on strength, and then it just comes down to like because both coaching staffs are really good. That's not going to be a problem. It's going to be down to like, can the coaching staff get the players to execute? I know everyone's tired of the word, but I mean that's what it is at the end of the day. I think the coaches are good enough to get the job done. Now it just comes out of the player to follow through with the game plan.
Yeah, because you're definitely going to see wrinkles in the game. When you're going good on good, like our D-line versus their O-line, you're going to see them do things they haven't done before. You're going to have to get advantages. And, yeah, they have to execute on that. And that's the beautiful part of this game, man. Good on good, what gives? Who makes the best adjustments? Who has the best game plan? And that's what makes a game like this so entertaining. You're absolutely right. Yes, we're nervous. Yes, we're excited. It's going to be so much fun to see a sold-out Kyle Field, all black, fresh new look for the program, top teams going at it for real national implications and, long-term goals on the year. It's going to be so much fun. And obviously, you only stamp that in with a win, so we got to make it count.
I know. I don't know how to pick the game yet. I'm trying to find the advantage. Like I said, strength on strength, so there's not a whole lot of like advantages on any particular team. I'm really curious to see how our secondary performs against their receivers, because this might be like the way I've been seeing is like Mizzou had the most talented passing attack or the best wide receiver room or talent wise, and then Mississippi State is probably the most productive we've seen so far.
Probably the best scheme we've seen.
Exactly. Now this is a LSU team that has the talent and the production. Like two of the receivers are in the top 10 of receiving yards in the SEC. So this is good. That's going to be a huge matchup. I don't know if that's going to be the match. I want to think it's our D-line against our O-line is going to be the matchup of the game. But I think aside from that, I think turnovers. I think
huge.
Connor and Nuss are very similar.
Very similar.
Both gunslingers. I think Nuss has a tendency to put the ball in danger more. Reports from fall camp were that he threw a lot of picks even in fall camp. So let's see if we can force that out of him. I mean, like we watched Ole Miss game together. There were a lot of pickable balls off. And if we just come away with one or two of them, I think that might make the difference in the game. It's going to be close. It's probably a 4-point game. Don't have a score prediction yet, though.
Yeah, we'll get it on Thursday. And yeah, man, I mean, it's weird because Connor got hit with 4 turnover-worthy plays, including his 2 actual turnovers. But if you look at the advanced stats for them, they only got hit with 1. And I thought he had like 3 or 4 where the defenders had 1 or 2 hands on the ball. And he had more versus Ole Miss where he had a much more uneven game, threw for under 50% in that game 2 weeks ago. So yeah, man, both of these quarterbacks could make mistakes in the game because they've shown it. And it's about capitalizing when you have the opportunity. Because I think Nuss, if you're able to get a pressure on him, even without pressure, he's thrown some weird balls. But especially if you get a pressure on him, you have to make the most of every inaccurate ball. And I know Elko harps on turnover battle. I know that's an emphasis for this team. And this is such a key game to get it because you feel like both offenses can score in this one.
Yeah, I think I agreed. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to review the game tape on Arkansas LSU, but I don't know if you have. But what do you think? Like, because the thing that is so concerning to me about LSU is that they are getting hot at the right time. And I don't know if the domination against Arkansas was just because Arkansas was coming off a bye, and that's impressive. I don't know. And then, but the thing is, like, I looked at the stats, which don't tell everything. But I mean, Taylor Green was able to pass a pretty good percentage completion and pretty decent yardage against that team. Don't know if that was garbage time or not, but obviously, only 10 points at home. And LSU was able to just control the game from start to finish.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was a talent disparity showing on the field. I'm hoping that at least LSU got somewhat beat up after that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing in the game were turnovers for Arkansas again. There were critical moments in the game where Arkansas turned the ball over. They went early in the game. LSU went up. I think Arkansas fumbled. LSU got the ball right back, went up 2 scores. Then Arkansas scored a touchdown or a field goal. I don't remember. They made it 16-10. They get a stop. They get the ball back at like the 10 off of a good punt. And then Taylor Green throws the ball. It gets tipped at the line of scrimmage by Whit Weeks, their star linebacker.
Yeah.
He tips it and catches it himself. They get the ball at like the 5. And from that point, they go up 24 or 23, whatever it is, 23-10. And from that point, the game was really over. That sucked all the air out of the game. And then, yeah, LSU was clearly the more talented team, especially when their offense was on the field. What they did was they slowly, methodically moved the ball for long, sustained drives. They won the time of possession 39-21. And that was by way of third down conversions, like 6-7 minute drives, 80-yard drive in the game, and just getting first downs and moving the ball and taking the air out of the game. Now, Arkansas doesn't have a pass rush. That's been their problem all year. And Arkansas doesn't have the best DB group. So that was kind of the perfect defense for them to do it against, but they did it in their own house, and it was an impressive game. And yes, they are gaining momentum. They're getting better and better every week. They're in a very similar spot to A&M in that regard.
Yeah, that's true. That makes me feel better about it. I guess I think we'll be able to run on LSU, but how well we'll be able to run. Because like there were times even against Mississippi State and then even against Arkansas where our run game kind of disappears for a little bit. Mind you, like during Arkansas, we had Marcel, which no shade at Marcel. He doesn't offer the passing threat, so they're going to load the box against Le'Veon and the boys. In that regard.
Yeah, that was a problem, and I was surprised a little bit of the lack of success we had running against Mississippi State. I will say though, you left 60 yards on the board with those 2 penalties, so it's more like a 200-yard rushing game rather than the 140-ish, 138-yard rushing game that we had. You had, 4 rushing touchdowns in the game. You did have some good plays, but I did think the O-line struggled at times run blocking. They were solid pass blocking. I haven't even brought up the fact that we didn't give up a sack in the game, so that was huge. But some of the run blocking stuff, especially getting to the second level, linebackers, couple busts. I thought Fayu kind of had his most mediocre game of the year. I thought he was due. He had played so well since stepping in at the center position. I thought the right side of the O-line missed a couple things in the run blocking world. But pass pro's been really good, and look, it's not a huge run stuffing defense. You have a chance to do things against this defense running the ball, and both running backs played well versus Mississippi State, even though the numbers don't reflect it. I thought Amari followed his blocks really well, hit the hole really hard. I really liked him on that screenplay. Le'Veon had some awesome plays, 2 touchdowns, and 2 plays that got called off. So I almost expect A&M to have some success running the ball versus LSU, but the passing is going to have to be there to win this game to keep up with them.
Yeah, I think so. I think as far because they're Weeks, that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a monster linebacker. I think in those situations, you just run the ball at him. Like you just hold tight ends and guards and just run it right at him, take him out of the play essentially. Similar to what we did to Harold Perkins back in last time they came to Kyle Field.
Great running day. Yeah, great running day.
Yeah, and obviously you still use the pass over the top to free up the box, but the chess match is going to be huge. Do you have any idea who has the coaching edge between Elko and Brian Kelly?
2 really, really, really good staffs, man. It's pretty close. And typically in a year 1, I would just give it to the more tenured program. But they're going through an overhaul on defense right now, so it's not all like a year 4, whatever they are, a year 4 program. I got to call it a wash right now. I really think it's a wash, and if anything, you give it to them for continuity, but I really like our staff, obviously. So maybe slightly in them only for continuity's sake, but, we're overachieving in a year 1, so it's really damn close.
Yeah. I will say I give Elko the edge on halftime adjustments, like not and that's saying I don't know how BK handles second half adjustment, because we just know Elko's really good at it. I think Klein has been underrated so far this year, especially with not superb, talented, touted wide receiver group. Not that they're bad, they're just they're not going to be top round NFL talent types mentioned on draft day. And I think he's done a great job with them. Running game has come together phenomenally, and I think I've ran out of words at this point. I'll try to come up with a score prediction on Thursday, but it is I'm mind boggled on how this game's going to play out.
I know, man. It's so intriguing. It's going to be a blast, and gotta freaking win it. But all right, Noble, I appreciate the call, man. We'll talk Thursday.
Absolutely. Oh, and BJ Mays needs to start. That's my last bit.
I like it, man. I think he does too. All right, have a good night, Noble.
You too.
All right, Jeb, ready for you. All right, guys, one last call on the night. We got 52 viewers and 31 likes. Can we get the likes to 40? That would help greatly. Appreciate all you guys for being here. Yeah, Elko, I believe Kelly hired Elko, and then Elko moved on after 1 year. I think Elko, where did he go after? Did he go straight to A&M? Yeah, he went straight to Jimbo for 1 year. So, yeah, there's some familiarity there. Brian Kelly spoke glowingly of Elko today on his presser. All right, last call of the night. Jeb, how you feeling? What's on your mind?
Oh, man, dude, I'm excited but nervous, just like everybody else.
Wait, you hate LSU, don't you? You're one of the big LSU haters, right?
I think so. I think because their fan base is extremely cocky. I mean, granted, obviously, they have rights, but man, just watching YouTube videos all day, man, they're pretty confident.
Are they really? I haven't watched their stuff yet. Are they feeling good about this game?
Yeah, granted, so they're a hot team, right? What are they ranked right now? 7?
7, yeah.
Do you think they should be ranked in front of us?
That's a good question.
Because they have a worse loss than we do. They lost to USC, and USC is not even ranked.
That's a really good point. And honestly, I've given up trying to make sense of rankings until the last couple weeks of the year.
I don't either. How is Miami not ranked number 5? They're undefeated.
Yeah.
I don't like Miami really, but they deserve to be at least 4 or 5.
Yeah, I guess they have better wins on the road at South Carolina and versus Ole Miss, but we have 2 SEC road wins at Florida, who's decent, and at Mississippi State, who most people acknowledge are better than their record indicates. But I guess if you're measuring, they have slightly better wins because they have the Ole Miss win.
They beat Ole Miss, so I get it. They beat Arkansas, but my thing is, if we had a healthy Connor Wigman, do we beat Arkansas by a couple more touchdowns? Remains to be seen.
That's a good point. Look, you're right. I don't care. Beat the hell out of them. Beat the hell out of them. I just
want to win. Because I think if we win this game, confidence is at an all-time high. I know South Carolina's scary. Their stadium's rocking. But they're not really that good of a team.
Who, Arkansas?
No, South Carolina.
Oh yeah. They get it
the-
done by like big crazy plays. Oh, excuse me. Like fake punts, fake field goals,
Yeah,
turnovers.
if you watch the OU game, they created 3 turnovers in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and then they scored 21 points in the first quarter. But after that, they only scored like 14 points the rest of the game. I mean, I think South Carolina's a good team. Like, I think defensively they're very good. I mean, those DNs are incredible.
Yeah.
But offensively, they kind of suck.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, it's a night game. It's going to be scary, but we should be able to have our way with them as long as we're on our A game. And I think it's the same thing going forward. It's like until that Texas game, which exists in a vacuum, I'm not even analyzing that yet. But every game, I think if A&M brings their A game, they have as good a chance as anybody to beat their opponents.
Oh, yeah, I will say this, they're not perfect, but they are pretty poised for the most part. I mean, there's times in that game where State could have got back in the game immediately or tied it up, but our defense, held pretty strong, and our offense was. I mean, we were 9 for 11 in third downs. When's the last time we heard that?
I know, that was insane. That was insane. Hey, since you're getting at that, I kind of have this feeling today, like this thought: does A&M feel like somewhat of a mature team? Just not a lot of shenanigans, not a lot of personal fouls. I know we get the chippiness stuff every now and then with the D line, but
that's part of the game. Emotion's a part of the game.
I feel like we're not doing a lot of stupid shit. Does that make any sense?
We're a well-coached team. I mean, we're not perfect. We give up some plays here and there, but like, I don't know. It's not like Leon O'Neal type stuff.
Yeah, I love Leon. But there was some wacky
O'Neal.
stuff.
I love that he still backs us up.
I love Leon. Yeah, Leon's a real Aggie.
Yeah, man. I mean, the matchups are incredible, dude. I mean, you got. I don't know. Everyone says they have a good running game, but they only really ran the ball against Arkansas. I mean, everyone else, they didn't have a running game.
It's an inconsistent running game. I'm surprised it's not like a really good running game with their offensive line, but they just really haven't been super consistent. I think they're like averaging 138 yards a game rushing, which is like bottom 4 in the SEC.
Yeah.
They've had some high notes on the year with it, but it's not been like this consistent force like you would expect with that kind of an O-line. But neither was Mississippi State, and they had some running success early in the game, and I just don't want to fall back into that. That was surprising to me that they were running.
They just play their hardest, man. Again, when they play at home against us, for some reason, they're like, for the Big 12 days, they're like the Texas Tech. We always struggled in Lubbock.
Right.
State's one of those teams, I don't know why. They just play their hearts against us when we're out there. And, dude, those cowbells on the screen, they really are annoying.
I know, man.
Someone called their fan base lazy.
They don't want to yell. They just ring. They just ding, ding,
ding. I mean, hey, it works, man. It works.
It's very annoying, man.
That shit's annoying.
Can anybody else do noisemakers? Like, isn't that disallowed? Isn't that like outlawed?
Yeah. So they made it to where if you go to if it's an away game, you can't bring them. It's only at their home stadium.
I gotcha. Hey, there's an Arkansas fan in the chat saying that A&M is the best D line they've played against, and they've played against Tennessee, and they played against LSU, who has a pretty good defensive line. And then we heard today, Jeff Lebby gave a presser on Monday saying that A&M has the best defensive line he's played against this year. He's an offensive guy, and he's played against Texas and Georgia. So those are some pretty high praises, man.
Yeah, that's pretty high praise. I don't think we need to get too creative on defense.
Really?
And try to confuse Nuss, because I think Nuss is kind of a mature dude, and kind of like he won't fall for that stuff. I mean, I think you can, but I think you just need to just beat him. I mean, just blitz 5 guys every single time. I'm not every single time, but just blitz 5 dudes.
Yeah, I just think their O-line, man, that's the thing. They're so solid. They're offensive players, especially their tackle. I mean, they're NFL level players on both tackle positions, and that's.
Oh yeah, they're phenomenal, man. They've kept him claiming 2 sacks. I mean, that's amazing. I rewatched the Arkansas game when they played them last Saturday.
Yeah.
He got the ball out quick. I mean, every time they tried to put pressure on him, he got the ball out quick.
And he evades pretty quickly. He doesn't usually rush for any yardage, but he gets away from pressure really well. He keeps his eyes downfield.
I will say this. I think Kyle Field is a little bit more of an advantage. I think offensively, we have a better offense in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Arkansas, they have nice weapons, but they don't have an offensive line, and they don't have a quarterback that's – I think he tries to do too much.
I think he does too. I think he has tremendous upside, but I just feel like he gets lost in games, man. I like Taylon Green. I had a level of respect for him when we played him, but he's just not consistent. He has the tools.
Consistent at all. But you can blame the offensive line for that. I guess at least what A&M I could say is we have a good offensive line.
Yeah.
I think we'll be able to run the ball on them. I don't know how consistent. But Connor, I don't know what Connor we're gonna get. That's the thing. If we can clean the turnovers over and not turn the ball over, I think we have a good chance to win.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we'll be able to move the ball a little bit on their offense. I think our receivers are slowly getting better. We have a pretty good group of receivers.
I hate to say it and put it on one guy, but I think it just comes down to Connor's consistency.
Yeah, that's who it is. I mean, your quarterback play. I mean, because Nuss is he's gonna ball out.
Yeah.
We're gonna give up some scores. We're gonna give up some plays. That's really gonna happen. We gotta be able to answer. And I was watching a show today on YouTube, and they were talking about this might be the best receiving core A&M's played all year. Yes, I think so, but we played some pretty good receivers.
Arkansas has a good core.
Arkansas, Missouri's got a good trio. Florida's got a good trio.
They do. 17 DK, he's good.
DK Badger, dude. I wanted Elijah Badger out of the portal so bad.
Yeah, I know you did.
I know we. I mean, could you imagine if he was on a team right now?
I know it'd be sick.
Could you imagine if Lambert Smith from Auburn, who's their best receiver right now, who's playing well? Could you imagine if he would have picked us over Auburn?
Mm-hmm.
We would have been incredible at the receiving core this year.
I know, and we're still playing decently and getting better. I mean,
Mississippi State had a good receiving core.
They did. That's their best aspect of their team. They have a solid receiving core. But I will say this is probably the most consistent quarterback receiver tandem.
Oh yeah, they have a great group of receivers, and they have that Mason Taylor tight end guy who's really good.
Probably the best tight end of the year. No, Bowling Green's still the best tight end, right? Or is Mason Taylor better?
That guy's incredible.
That's a good comparison right there. Mason Taylor versus that Bowling Green dude. Oh my goodness, that dude was so good.
I trust our defense. Our defense is gonna give up plays. But I do trust our defense. Like I trust our defense to be able to get off the field when they can.
Yeah.
And make some stops when they can. Also, this is a very good offense. It all comes down to our offense, really.
I think so, man. I think there will be plays to be had. You got to protect the quarterback. You've done well
We
all
haven't
year
given
with
up.
it.
We haven't given up more than 20 points all year long. So
until this game, we give up 23 or whatever to Mississippi State. This is the first time. This is the first time.
Was Notre Dame 24? Right?
No, Notre Dame was 20.
I thought it was 24.
I don't think so.
I could be wrong.
Oh, it's 23. We've given up 23 to Notre Dame and 24 to Mississippi State, but it's still good.
It's still really good. I mean, if you're not giving up,
and that's with turnovers. Those are really turnover games. Those are our 2 turnover games on the year,
I think A&M will get some turnovers. A&M's pretty good at forcing turnovers, I will say.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to give a score prediction or you want to wait till Thursday?
Yeah, I probably won't call in Thursday. I'll probably just listen.
All right. What's your score prediction?
I'll do it today. Oh, man, dude.
It's hard.
Yeah, because I think it'll be close. I would love for us to just start fast and blow them out, right?
Like Missouri, yeah.
Oh, man. I think Connor will play better at home. I'm gonna say, like, I think it's going to be in the 20s.
Really?
I don't know if we can get 30 on them. I know their defense, everyone keeps saying their defense is not great. I don't think they're as bad as everyone says they are.
They got a good pass rush. They got a good linebacker crew.
Yeah. I think we can exploit their secondary.
I think we can.
I'm going to do I'm going to say 31-27 type of score.
That sounds about right. A&M.
I think it could be a field goal game. I don't know, because LSU is one of those teams. If you don't put them away, they'll linger around.
It's going to be close, man. It's going to be a heart attack.
Are you not going to the game?
I don't think I'm going. It's a game time decision, but I'm 90% sure I'm not going.
I'm kind of glad I bought my tickets early, because I'm sure the prices have.
Oh, they spiked big time. I'm going to wait last minute, see if I get lucky, but I'm saving my money for the Texas game.
Should I go? Okay, so I know we're going to wear all black, right?
You got to wear black.
Should I rock the black shirt? I think it's going to be hot. I think it's going to be hot this weekend.
If it's nighttime, the black will make a difference, though.
It will. Well, I mean, I'm gonna wear black regardless if it's hot or not. I'm just kind of hoping I was kind of hoping it'd be 50 degrees at night.
I think it's gonna be in the 80s or 70s.
Yeah, that's terrible. Should I do the black hat or the white hat?
You gotta go black all the way, man. I
gotta go black all the way.
You gotta black out.
Oh man, I can't put a little bit of color in there.
Nah, you gotta go totally black. Maybe a little bit of maroon. No white. You gotta black out, and then you gotta wear black to the game too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm taking my bike to the game, so best way to go around.
Yeah. So you're gonna wear black, right? You're not teasing us.
No. I'm gonna wear black. I was gonna rock. I know this is a weird thing to talk about, but I couldn't decide.
No, you're good.
I need an
If you
opinion.
wanna change the color up, I say the hat is the way to go. You got to wear
Well,
the black
I'm
shirt.
gonna wear a black shirt and black shorts for sure because it's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
I was like, do I? Because I have maroon and white shoes. I was like,
You
do
can
I
wear
rock
those.
that?
No, you can rock the shoes.
And
You
I
got
have
you got to wear a
I'll
black
do it.
shirt. At the minimum, a black shirt.
Yeah, okay, black shirt, black shorts. And
Yeah.
then I was gonna do a white hat and white shoes, like the maroon. I have like an A&M, obviously white hat, and like I have like my maroon and white shoes.
Jeb, just paint your body black.
I think I should.
Yeah, shirtless, paint your body black,
what do they
wear
call
black
it?
shoulder pads, and wear a
What are the-
Viking helmet.
What do they call the ghillie suits where you have like the all black?
Yeah, wear an all black ghillie suit, and then wear a
I
Viking
was gonna wear
helmet.
my Mr. Incredible costume, but it's probably gonna be too hot for that.
Yeah, it might be a little hot. It is Halloween, so wear whatever
It's
you
Halloween
want.
Weekend, man. So I'm
Be
excited.
Darth Vader.
I'm so excited. I'm counting down right now. I'm so excited to be there, be back in College Station.
Dude, enjoy the
It's gonna
hell
be
out
fun.
of it. Enjoy the hell out of it. All right, Jeb, you have a great
All
night,
right, man.
man.
You guys, good night.
Later. Yeah, David, we did a really good job batting passes down versus Mississippi State. You only had 3 sacks, but you batted down 6 passes at the line of scrimmage, and you batted down 4 more off the line of scrimmage. That was huge in the game, and that was an adjustment in the second half. So I would say if there were 6 bat downs in the game, I'd say 5 were in the second half. They must have told him, this is a shorter quarterback, get your hands up. It worked. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Great show tonight. Thank you to the callers. Thank you, Lash, for the rant. Thank you to the chat. And thank you for tuning in. I'll be dropping that LSU preview video tomorrow, and we'll be going live again one last time Thursday night. And, guys, sounds like I'll be doing a watch party on Saturday. So if you're not going to the game, get right here. We're going to get active. We're going to get crazy. We're going to be watching this game. This is definitely the most intense game we will have watched on a watch party. We've watched Florida together. We watched Mississippi State together. Pretty good feels in both of those, especially the Florida game. A little bit of troubles in the Mississippi State game. For the most part, good. This should be a heart attack and a half. So join me. We'll suffer together, but we'll thrive together because A&M's going to win the damn game. Y'all have a great night. Gig 'em.